Since AT helps a learner increase, maintain, or improve their skills, AT should be documented throughout the IEP. Sections of an IEP that could include AT are present level of academic achievement and functional performance, or the PLAF, secondary transition, goals and objectives, supplementary aids and services, state and district assessments, and related services. So this section includes information about the learner's academic achievement and functional performance, including how their disability affects their involvement and progress in the general education curriculum. The information within the PLAF should provide a clear description of the learner's abilities, including any information collected during an AT assessment. Modifications, accommodations, or AT devices and services that are currently being implemented should also be included, along with a statement indicating why these are effective or indicating if further needs should be addressed. This section could contain narrative for any of the following areas of deficit or need. Academic achievement, if the learner is in preschool through 12th grade. Perception, motor, or mobility skills. Communication skills. Adaptive or independent living skills. Medical or health information. Transition and vocational skills. Or social, emotional, and behavioral information. AT being used in any of these areas should be described in this narrative. Each area of educational need identified in the PLAF must be addressed in at least one other section of the written IEP, such as annual goals and objectives, supplementary aids and services, special education programs and services, or the transition plan. In the IEP, it's strongly encouraged that educators describe the learner's tools by its features in the event that the tool no longer fits the need, if a new tool is designed, or if a low-tech option needs to be substituted for a high-tech tool. Here's an example. Due to the student's complex communication needs, he utilizes multimodal communication to express his wants, needs, and ideas, including gestures, vocalizations, single-word utterances, such as stop, want, no, and a student-owned high-tech speech generating device on a tablet with a robust vocabulary and QWERTY keyboard. Currently, Prolo Quota Go, 45 buttons per screen, intermediate core crescendo. When a learner turns 14, the IEP team, including the learner and their parents or guardians, begin talking about the transition process, which includes thinking about what interests, strengths, or skills the learner could use for life after completing their educational journey. At the age of 16, a post-secondary transition plan is developed, which includes measurable post-secondary goals in the areas of education, training, employment, and independent living. If assistive technology is used by the learner, or if it's suspected that AT could assist the learner in post-secondary employment or independent living activities, it should be incorporated into the transition plan. The need for assistive technology may be documented directly in the section's goals, services, and activities sections of the transition section. The needs identified in the PLAF directly correlate to the annual goals and objectives. Depending on what the learner is expected to do, or their tasks, AT may be required to successfully improve, maintain, or increase the skills identified in the goal. Remember, AT should be described by its features rather than naming specific tools or products. This allows some flexibility in the tool or device used based on the learner's needs or environments and doesn't pigeonhole them into one tool when another tool could work just as well or even better than the original one named in the IEP, depending on the task or environment. Here's an example. Using a computer program with a spell checker and word prediction, Annie will compose a one-page paper with 80% accuracy in the use of punctuation, capitalization, and grammar for 5 assignments in a grading period by August 2021. Notice how we're not saying it has to be a desktop computer or a Chromebook or or an iPad. We're saying that it just has to be a computer program with spell checker and word prediction. That leaves it open to being on a Microsoft Word document, or maybe it's on a Google Doc with a Google Chrome extension like Read and Write or Co-Writer. As long as it has spell checker and word prediction, it's probably going to fit Annie's needs, and so it leaves it open to have an opportunity to trial a variety of tools that may come or be developed along the way. Each school district and ISD has their own guidelines for how to write IEP goals and objectives, so contact your school's administrator for more information. Supplementary aids and services are the aids and services and other supports that are provided to enhance or allow a learner's placement in the least restrictive environment, especially if a least restrictive environment is the regular general education classroom. AT may be a supplementary aid or service. Assistive technology is most logically included in the IEP as a supplementary aid when it provides more independence and requires little instruction in order to be used effectively. Assistive technology could also be listed under specialized equipment needs, like speech generating devices or word processors, presentation of subject matter, like taped lectures, materials needed, such as scanned notes or assignments, large print, braille, assignment modification, such as the learner is allowed to verbally record or type an assignment, or even self-management supports like calendars or timers. The IEP team must determine how a learner with a disability will participate in state and district-wide assessments. Some learners participate in general assessments with allowable accommodations, while others fully participate in the alternate assessment. Learners taking the assessments with allowable accommodations for statewide and district-wide testings may use AT devices as outlined in their accommodations manual. While learners may use a wide range of accommodations during routine instruction and assessment, not all of those accommodations could be used for statewide and district-wide testing. Contact your administrator for more information on the allowable accommodations. In the Related Services section, you'll find more information about the therapies a learner received, and these can be direct or consultative. Many of these therapy providers utilize assistive technology with their services and can train the learner, the school team, and even parents in how to set up, program, or use the AT tool. For example, speech-language pathologists use communication devices, core boards, visuals, pod communication books. Occupational therapists could use slant boards, adaptive utensils, zipper pulls, and physical therapists could use walkers, standers, and wheelchairs. The transportation section of the IEP addresses the needs the learner might have related to special transportation due to a disability. Assistive technology might be addressed in this area if the learner has needs for a wheelchair lift, harnessing or securement system, and other specialized AT devices that could impact safety and comfort during transportation. Some of these needs can be documented as part of a checkbox acknowledgement found right in the section, while others might be written as a description of the needs. As you can see, AT fits in many areas of the IEP. It is important to clearly communicate to the parents and guardians and future readers of the IEP document exactly what services and AT tools the school district will provide and the intended outcomes for the learner.